All right, what is up? We are live. Surprise finish to this race. Austin Cindric wins. He had a strong run for the entire event, but it took Ryan Blaney running out of gas. It took Christopher Bell having engine trouble for Austin Cindric to win. But I did say in the pre-race when somebody asked me to make my picks, I made my picks for who I thought would win. But then I said my dark horse is Austin Cindric. So Austin Cindric winning this race was on the radar. I did call him as the dark horse, but even calling him as the dark horse, I was like, man, he's going to need a lot of help to win. But he did get that help. like I said, uh, they made the comment at the end of the race. Richard Petty always said, all you can do is put yourself in position to win, and then circumstance dictates it. Well, that's exactly what he did today. He put himself in position, and the other guys had problems. His teammate ran out of gas. A classy interview after the race too, saying he feels heartbroken for the 12 team and the 12 guys and Ryan Blaney. Christopher Bell, fastest car of the day, had engine issues. So, yeah, he put himself in position and circumstances dictated. So, congratulations to Austin Cindric getting a win in that good looking Tron Freightliner's paint scheme. Really a good looking car. The only really other drama of the race was Kyle Busch versus Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson got into him on the back straightaway. Kyle Busch didn't appreciate it, so he drove him really tight into the corner. Kyle Larson got loose, wiggled up, and collected each other. Kyle Busch couldn't continue going on. Kyle Larson did, and ends up with a top 10. That was really the only other story of interest other than the finish of the race. Not too much happened there. Martin Truex Jr. cuts down a tire, cost him his chance of a possible win. But let's take a look at the at least the top 10 here. Austin Cindric with the win, great win for him, locks him into the playoffs. That's going to be a story going forward. That is the poll question too, by the way. With the Austin Cindric win, which driver are you most concerned about, or which driver most likely misses the cut? Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, and Bubba Wallace. Those were the ones right around the cut line before the race started. We don't have a points readout just yet of the current point standings, but as soon as we do, we will get to those. But let's run over the top 10, and then we'll go over who had a good race and a bad race here. Happy beers, sad beers, happy beers for Austin Cindric and the gang. Denny Hamlin finished the second here in the Yahoo Toyota. Brad Keselowski in third place. The two-tire stop did pay off for him. He didn't get the win, but he does get the third place. Tyler Reddick here in fourth place. Didn't hear a whole lot of him all day, but at the end, he charged and had the right strategy there for that fourth place. Joey Logano had a nice solid run all day, a nice top five for him. And here you go, leading the way for Chevrolet. Austin Dillon needed a big run, and they got a big run today. You can only imagine what could have been for Kyle Busch. He had a really good car before the contact with Kyle Larson. So Austin Dillon here with sixth place, carrying the banner not only for RCR, but also for Chevrolet, highest finishing Chevrolet in the group. Christopher Bell here, seventh place. So even with the engine failing at the end, he did creep all the way to seventh, with some assistance from Martin Truex Jr. Carson Hocevar in the 77, finishing eighth. Good run for him. A good run for Spire Motorsports and Chevrolet. Justin Haley continuing to do the thing for Rick Ware Racing. Justin Haley, another top 10, finishes in ninth place. So shout out to him and Rick Ware Racing. And Kyle Larson, despite the contact with Kyle Busch, was able to keep going, and he finishes in 10th place. Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, and William Byron round out your top 15. And then we'll just go 16th to the end here. Todd Gilliland, 16th. Chase Briscoe, 17th. Daniel Hemrick, 18th. Zane Smith, 19th. Pretty good run for him. I mean, you don't want to, get too excited over a 19th place finish, but Zane Smith, one of the cleanest races he's had so far in the season, so good for him. Starting to turn that terrible rookie season around. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. In the Oikos Chevrolet, Kroger Health finishes 20th. Bubba Wallace, 21st. Noah Gregson, 22nd. Daniel Suarez, 23rd. Ryan Blaney, 24th. Michael McDowell, the pole sitter, is 25th. He tried to stretch it there at the end on gas mileage and had to make that final pit stop. He ends up in 25th. Eric Jones, 26th. John Hunter Nemechek, 27th. Alex Bowman, 28th. Ryan Priest, 29th. Derek Kraus, 30th. Harrison Burton, 31st. Corey LaJoy, 32nd. Cody Ware, two cautions, but he finishes 33rd. I think he was only, maybe a few laps down there. So Cody Ware only a few laps down. Martin Truex Jr. 3 laps down. Cody Ware was maybe 2. And then Kyle Busch and Josh Berry battle it out for last place. But Josh Berry taking home the win on Earth 2 by finishing last on Earth 1. All right, let's see if they've updated the points yet before we jump into the comments. They have not updated the points, but as soon as I find out they do, we will jump into that. But we will jump into the comments and see what you all want to talk about. Once again, poll question is: who is most likely to miss the cut for the playoffs with this Austin Cindric win? Because he, of course, was out of the playoffs before this win. And Kyle Busch right now leading the no, take that back. Bubba Wallace now leading the way with 55%. Kyle Busch in second at 35%. Nobody thinks Chris Buescher is going to miss the playoffs, and Joey Logano at 10% with 20 votes in so far. Now let's jump into the comments and see what you want to talk about. Difficult poll, as I do believe all four will get wins, says Shaw. So Shaw thinks all four of those drivers are going to get wins. I like your strategy there. I like your optimism. I think you're on the money with it. I just don't know if all of those four drivers get those wins before or after the playoffs. But I do agree with you. All those guys will probably this season get a win. I know it's wrong. Joey Logano does have a win, but it was not a chase, a points win or whatever you want to call it. He did win the All-Star race though. So just to clarify, I know somebody always wants to throw that in. Joey Logano won a race. He did win a race, but it wasn't a points paying race. I know what's wrong with it ain't got no gas in it. Ain't got no gas in it, says Chrome Diesel. Blaney should get a win, but isn't guaranteed. Would be crazy if he misses. Pretty sure he won't, says Kevin S. Larry Mack pointed out Blaney's crew only put one can in, and Cindric crew plugged in the second for a little bit, says Shy. Yeah, and some other people were saying because Christopher Bell ran him so hard, he might have used more gas on that particular run than he did on previous runs. So all kinds of ways you can look at it. Austin Cindric won under bad circumstances, but can we be real? He had a great car today for sure. He led some laps. So that's probably the other thing. Let's look at that. That we did have, what was it, 10 drivers, 16 lead changes. Michael McDowell led about 40 laps early on, and then Austin Cindric led from lap 144 to lap 176. He also led from lap 97 to 114. So he was no stranger to the front of the field this race at all. And then, of course, he leads 239 to 240, the two laps that matter. So, yeah, Austin Cindric, he was not bad at all this race. So, yeah, he did have some flukes bounce his way, but he, like I said, he put himself in position and he got the deal done. What happened to the pole winner? He finished around 25th. He tried to stretch his gas too late. He tried a gas mileage strategy and then had to pit late. So that's what cost him his good running position wise. He pitted late. Says Bumblebee. Josephus needs a win and a playoff spot, says Bumstead. He got a good finish today, though. So if he keeps putting this together, he might not necessarily need to win. But like Austin Cindric, if he keeps doing this, he'll have himself in position to win, and maybe the circumstances will bounce his way. Right on B. I caught the last laps only. I screwed 34 car by betting on it to get a top three, says Bumstead. I screwed Martin Truex Jr. by betting on him to be the highest finishing Toyota. So I cost, sorry, Truex fans, I cost you the win there. I caused the bad luck. It was my fault. KFB said Larson's point worth it. KFB said, was Larson's point worth it? Says one wise guy. Yeah, so they were racing basically for a stage points. So yeah, once again, the stage cautions and stage points, adding a little bit of extra drama. I thought it was basically just a racing incident. Kyle Larson got into Kyle Busch down the straightaway, and then Kyle Busch didn't cut him any slack, just raced him really close, and Kyle Larson got loose and took them both into the wall. Kyle Larson continues. Kyle Busch does not. So sucks for Kyle Busch. He had a really good car. And it didn't really affect Kyle Larson because he didn't have a car to win. So he was probably a top 10 car, and he ends up finishing top 10. So that's just the way these things go from time to time. Will there be payback? Will there be retaliation? Who knows? We'll have to watch as the thing continues. Congrats on Scott Dixon winning the chaotic Detroit GP. Yeah, I didn't see any of the Detroit GP. I typically don't watch a lot of IndyCar, but congrats to Scott Dixon. He is one of my favorite drivers over there. He is my favorite driver over there, but I do have some other drivers I do now pull for, including Scott McLaughlin and Kyle Kirkwood. I know who did have gas today. Scott Dixon, 9 away from AJ and points leader, says Cody Ledger. Austin Cindric will win the championship this year, BB. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Sometimes a little momentum can go a long way. I'm not necessarily going to say he's a waste of a playoff spot like some people are. I think Austin Cindric's really talented, and I think a little boost in momentum, a little boost in confidence. Because, like I said, this win wasn't necessarily a fluke because he ran up front all day, but he did have some things bounce his way for circumstance. But he ran a really good race the entire race. It wasn't like he just got some crazy pit strategy to get up front there. He had a fast race car and he drove it. So hopefully this is the momentum he needs to get better going forward. Cindric Earth 2 champ says Bumblebee. I think Zane Smith's got Earth 2 on lock right now. Will Fire win every cup race in June? Says Jamie Schweitzer. Will Ford win every race in June? Says Jamie Schweitzer. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Ross getting close to that cut line. His 12th place finish today is typical. His entire year, Chevy mostly struggles at Gateway. Yeah, definitely not necessarily a Chevrolet track, although Kyle Busch won it last year. So I don't know, but typically not a Chevrolet track. So maybe Kyle Busch was the fluke last year. I'm surprised KFP car was knocked out of the race. It seemed fixable. Yeah, those toe links, man. Those toe links are they're detrimental to stock car racing because they break too easy. And then somebody's going, well, if they didn't break easy, something else in the car would break. True, but we didn't have this problem on the old car, so I will continue to rail against it. Kyle Larson ran out of talent, but that was not intentional. Yeah, it was a racing deal. It definitely was nothing intentional, but will he get paid back? And how Kyle Busch pays him back, that will be something to watch going forward. The season is a marathon and not a race. Ford is getting better each week and will win the marathon, says Bruce Reed. So there you go, the Ford gang getting fired up. It was a great race for Ford too, by the way. Like they had like six or seven cars in the top 10 for qualifying. So it was definitely a good race for the Blue Oval gang. When these cars get tight side by side, I don't know, but they get squirrely. Never seen a car so bad, says Bumstead. But that's, I don't know, man, because like that's what they talk about at the intermediates. You can race side by side like that, and you don't have to worry about the side suck. So I think Kyle Larson loose, driving it in too hard. Like I said, just a racing incident, but make Kyle Busch feel any better for sure. Did you see my member anniversary above? I did not. So let me scroll back up to the top here. There we go. Appreciate you there, Bruce Reed. 10 months for my man Bruce. So much appreciated, my friend. So missed a few of these earlier. So apologies for all the questions and comments I missed earlier up there. Looks like there's a few of them I missed. So apologies on that one. Let's see. Toe link being so fragile is the reason why I despise the Cup car, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that particular part being the fragile part. But it is what it is. They're not going back to solid axle, so I'll do my complaining and griping and move on about it. I doubt a Ford will win at Sonoma, says one wise guy. I don't know, man. Michael McDowell's pretty good there, so we'll see. I'll have to look up the Sonoma stats. Consistently, sort of like Alex Bowman, being on the hot seat is not the greatest thing in the world. Is a Daytona 500 winner and has some other good finishes as well. Have not updated the point standings yet, so I don't know exactly how this is going to shake out the points. I'm interested because Kyle Busch finished basically close to last, so I think that's going to hurt him for the points. I do want to see how it plays out with the points, though. Yeah, so we can run through the top 10 again while we're waiting on the points to sort of shake out here. Austin Cindric obviously locks him in. Denny Hamlin continues to have a good season. BK also continuing to turn RFK around. BK starting to separate from his teammate quite a bit here, points wise. He obviously has the win, so he's looking like the better RFK driver this season, whereas last year it was Busher looking like the better driver, but he's had the better stats this season. Tyler Reddick, nobody's really talking about Tyler Reddick, but he's just another guy. He's sort of fallen into that Alex Bowman territory where he's just sort of getting the job done every week. Not really on anybody's radar, but here's Tyler Reddick again, another ho-hum fourth place finish that probably won't get talked about. Joey Logano had a slow start to the season, but he's caught fire here recently. Fifth place finish, won the All-Star race. Austin Dillon definitely needed this day. Has had a terrible season, there's no other way around it. But he gets the good finish today. Christopher Bell, it's hard to say a seventh place is a disappointing finish, but he had the fastest car by far. Carson Hocevar, he might take the points lead because Josh Berry finished the rookie points lead, I should say, because Josh Berry finished dead last. So the rookie points battle is heating up. Justin Haley again, Rick Ware Racing. How much more can we say about Justin Haley and Rick Ware Racing? Let me pull up Justin Haley's stats here real quick because I need to take a look at that. So in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, past 3 weeks, he's had two top tens for Rick Ware Racing. When is the last time that happened? Top 10 at Darlington and top 10 at Gateway. I knew he had at least one top 10 finish. And if we're keeping score at home, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had six. His entire time at Colic, he only had six top tens, and now seven, maybe seven. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so 10. His entire time at Colic, he only had 10 top tens, and now he's already got two at Rick Ware Racing in one season. So he is 2/10 of the way there, 1/8 if you're keeping score at home and you're good with fractions. So good run for him as well. And then who was the let's see here, and then Kyle Larson with a 10th place finish, probably about where he would have finished either way with or without the contact with Kyle Busch. SVG running Cup at Sonoma. I don't know. I haven't seen. I need to look at. I haven't seen the starting grid for Sonoma just yet. Let's see if Jayski's put it up. Nope, I don't have the entry list just yet. Just the weekend schedule, so don't have the entry list for Sonoma just yet. Um, I don't see a member sign up on your channel. I don't. It's on here somewhere. I don't know exactly where they're at. I have a different view than you guys do, so maybe somebody can walk Bumstead through that. Truex or AJ is my pick for Sonoma. Any regular season points leader predictions? I think eventually Kyle Larson will get it back. He's had a pretty good season, but you never know. One DNF, especially with the missed race, can kind of take him out of it. Great race by FBK. Justin Haley finished eighth. Great day, BB. How's your race schedule going? Busy, busy. So that's always a good thing. We got a sixth place finish at Hickory, so that's always a good deal. Fox, as usual, wasn't even trying today. Yeah, Fox's coverage, they just don't care anymore. It's toward the end of their run for the season anyway, so that you can tell that they've kind of tuned out. Had Algar in the 5, SVG in the 16. Stupid camera angles wasn't great. Hit the join button. Says one wise guy. Jet Kraus posted the point standings. You can see it on DM. I sent you. Says Chrome Diesel. Definitely some unusual characters in the top 10. Says like dislike. Bell getting a top 10 by was a small miracle thanks to my boy Blue. Says Shy. Yeah, so Truex pushing Bill definitely helped him out quite a bit there toward the end. Picked him up 7/10, at least one lap when they were talking about it on camera. What Martin Truex did to help the 20 was just awesome and old school, and I love it. Yeah, and that's not illegal except for the last lap. You can't do it on the last lap. They have to finish under their own power. Truex is the coolest, says Shy. For Denny's bracket challenge, here are shockers. Says Cody Ledger. Bowman, 28th, loses to Nemechek, 27th. Hey, there you go. So if you're doing the bracket challenge, I should have tuned into that and done that. What BB? The last stage saved the race because it was definitely on its way to being a 3 out of 10 before that. My score is 6 out of 10. So yeah, I would put it at about a 6 out of 10 for sure. It wasn't a ton of action in that race. I'll agree with you on that. It was just sort of ho-hum for sure. I think it's AJ in the 16 at Sonoma, but I may be wrong. Yeah, like I said, it's hard for me to keep up with colleague, like just off the top of my head. I usually just wait for the entry list to come out before I do all that stuff. Same thing with Jimmy Johnson and all the guys running part time. I'm not Rain Man. I don't have that stuff off the top of my head. 9 times out of 10, every once in a while, you'll get lucky when you ask that question. Let's see if Jayski's updated the points yet. There we go. Jayski has finally updated his points as well. Denny Hamlin continues to be your points leader. He stretches it out to 21 over Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott is now your man in third place. Martin Truex Jr. with that almost last place finish, not quite, is now 44 points behind. And 46 points behind is now William Byron. Tyler Reddick is 61 points behind in sixth place. Then you got Ty Gibbs in seventh, Christopher Bell in eighth, Brad Keselowski in ninth, Alex Bowman in 10th, Ross Chastain in 11th, Ryan Blaney 12th, Bubba Wallace in 13th, Chris Buescher in 14th. And this would be the cutoff line right here because Austin Cindric and Daniel Suarez are 18th for Cindric and 19th for Suarez in points. So that would bump out Chase Briscoe, Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch. Those are going to be your three on the outside looking in. Chase Briscoe, Joey Logano, and Kyle Busch are your guys bumped out right now. Chris Buescher is on the cutoff line as it stands right now because, like I said, Cindric and Suarez are 18th and 19th in points, respectively. Carson Hocevar doesn't take the rookie points lead, but he does narrow the gap quite a bit. It looks like 5 points between the Rookie of the Year battle between Josh Berry, the leader, and Carson Hocevar, who is 21st. So 20th and 21st for the two rookies this season. And then the other rookies here, Zane Smith, continuing to lead all drivers in Earth 2 points by being dead last of all the drivers who have completed all the races. Kaz Grala, who's run only 12 races, is only slightly behind Zane Smith. Harrison Burton creeping into the picture, though, but he's still got a solid about 20-point lead or 20 or so point lead over Zane Smith. So Harrison Burton and Zane Smith battling it out for first place on Earth 2 as drivers who have completed all the races but run very poorly on Earth 1. Corey LaJoy in the mix, as well as Justin Haley, who just got to his second top 10 of the season, so maybe he's turning it around. All right, so there's your points, and that's the battle. So interesting. So very interesting as it stands now. So take Bubba out for Briscoe, and the other ones still stand. So take Bubba out for Briscoe, and that would probably be the only thing I changed about the poll question. But like I said, when I put it up, that was pre this race because I didn't have the race points up as it stands now. Let's see. There's no join button that I see, says Bumstead. Meant to vote Bubba, but hit Logano. So if it's a tie, add one more to the 23, says Say Kyle. Noah Gragson, 22nd, beats Ryan Blaney after running out of gas. Like dislike, the 20 was blowing up, so he pushed him around times to help him get the finish. Great day for me. Both Carson and Haley with top 10s, both outperforming their weak equipment, says Soldier. Yeah, like that's awesome. It's awesome whenever somebody can overcome a significant equipment advantage. I agree with that 100%. Cindric knocked Bubba out with his win. Martin Truex Jr. loses to Dylan in the Bass Pro Shops battle. I'm done now. LOL, says Cody Ledger. Rick Ware Racing continues to impress. Get Cody Ware out of that ride for the love of God. Yeah, Kaz Grala's got to be punching air right now because even with only 12 races, he was if he had just run a few more races, he would be so much higher. He'd probably be above Austin Dillon right now, to be totally honest. So he's got to be punching the air right now, and he would definitely be in that rookie mix, I feel like. SVG, 3 cup races left. Watkins Glen, Chicago, and Las Vegas. So SVG's next races are going to be Chicago, Watkins Glen, and Las Vegas. Thanks, B says like dislike 7 out of 10 race for me. Strategy was actually good for once, even with stage cautions. Go to the main page of Bologna Burger, hit the members tab. Bumstead says one wise guy. Wise is the bum. LOL says Bumblebee. Best race this weekend was the Xfinity race at Portland. Sometimes says wise guy. I didn't get to see any of the Xfinity or the truck races, so I can't comment on something I didn't see. The races at Hickory were pretty good, though. What's up, BB? What's up in between the lanes? The phony playoff chaos begins with Cindric's win. Two wins under 16, 2 winners under 16th place in points right now, says Napa. If this was the wild card chase, Cindric and Suarez would claim the wild card spot, says Chrome Diesel for sure. Carson is without a doubt the best Spire car, says Soldier. Kyle Busch is going to be drinking a lot of Rebel bourbon after today's races in between the lanes. Yeah, it's one of those deals where you're trying to put pressure on the guy beneath you, and you did get him. You did get him to make a mistake. Unfortunately, you were on the outside, and when the guy on the inside makes a mistake, the guy on the outside pays for it. So there is that. Cindric ran well today, but it was a fluke win, more of a fluke than Suarez in Atlanta. I'm seriously worried about KFB this year. I think he's pushing too hard and needs to chill out a little bit. He's beating himself, getting mad sometimes over the and overdriving the car, and other times. So it's just one of those years. He's just sort of having a bad year. I don't think it's necessarily the equipment, as you saw today. The equipment is fast, but whenever he has fast equipment, something dumb happens. Whether it be a pit stop, this particular race he got taken out by the 5 car. It's going to be one of those seasons for him. SVG's first Xfinity win Saturday, says in between the lanes. Yep, he definitely got it done in the Xfinity series. With Suarez and Cindric, a lot of people's playoff predictions are busted now, says Say Kyle. For sure. I did pick Cindric as my wild card today on the pre-race. So he was at least on one person's radar to potentially win the race. When it comes to Kyle and Kyle Rick, it was hard racing. Busch pinched Larson down. Larson wasn't letting up and got loose. It doesn't help when you got someone on your door to keep control of the car. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, one of those racing deals. Kyle made contact down the straightaway. Busch wasn't having that contact down the straightaway, so he raced him close. And when Larson lost it, Busch was the guy on the outside. So that's the way these things go. NASCAR just put out the points report after this race. Larson is listed second in points, but now shown with 0 playoff points. Last week, he was shown with 17 playoff points after the 600. So that's interesting. So that'll be an interesting thing to keep track of per Jeff Gluck. Hate it for the town of Marietta, New Jersey, and the legend of Martin Truex Jr. says in between the lanes. This was stupid to run the Xfinity and truck race at the same time. Killed the ratings for both races. Says like dislike. How many more different winners before the playoff starts? We'll get quite a few. I don't really want to put a number on it, but I'll say we'll have at least 10 to 12, maybe 13 different winners. But there'll definitely be some people that race in on points. BB, did you enter the Denny Hamlin bracket challenge? I did not enter the challenge. I meant to do it just because I want to give it a fair chance, just because I trashed it so much. I do at least want to give it a fair chance. But next year I'll be forced to do it anyway because NASCAR is doing it. So I'll be forced to do it next year. But this year I didn't get in on it. So I guess I can't retroactively go back and get into it. But I guess I can get into the next round. This is the first non-super speedway win for the 2 since 2020 fall Richmond. I changed my mind. Larson doesn't get a waiver since he took Kyle Busch out. Says like dislike. There you go. The mood in the room changed as soon as Larson took out Kyle Busch for some Chevrolet fans. Holy cow! Yeah, Larson isn't listed on the playoff standings on the NASCAR app. That is so stupid on NASCAR's part. By the way, what a dumbass decision. If that's really going to be how they play this, we're going to give him the waiver, but we're taking away his playoff points. Come on, like, be serious. Freaking be serious, man. If that's really the move they go with, I swear to God, I might be about done with the sport. This is the most ridiculous freaking thing. Anyway, we'll wait till they make an official announcement. Laughing my butt off. Like, dislike, totally agree. Says NBC's coverage of the IndyCar race at Detroit was excellent. Camera coverage saw every wreck, and there were many, says Bruce Garvey. Hey, so there you go. Did Seabell lose a gear? He was losing an engine, according to Seabell. Truck race was postponed due to weather. That's why the Xfinity and trucks went off at the same time, says Camaro 50. I filled out one and didn't even remember it until it was just mentioned. I can't find the points on NASCAR's website. I don't know about NASCAR's website, but if you go to J-Ski, he's got the points print off over there. NASCAR is just riling up the masses with waiver issue. They love the press it's getting. I think you're right about that. But if they really take away playoff points because he skipped a race, but then give him a waiver, like, what sense does any of that make? What sense does the rule make to begin with? So it is what it is. NASCAR is really about to make a huge mistake with this Larson deal. They're being so petty with this, says Elite. Yep, but that's what NASCAR is known for. Petty NASCAR energy. Didn't see IndyCar race, but apparently Scott Dixon won Detroit. It's not that they've been removed in the playoff standings. He's just not listed at all, at least on the app, says Say Kyle. Valve spring broke on the 20. So valve spring on the 20, according to B. Appreciate you there, B. Not that the points have been removed. NASCAR's app website never updates points until inspection is complete, says Napa Racing Fan. If they did, I'd be willing to bet that McLaren would still put him in the six over Theo Porcher, who I'm sure I ruined his name since he's just sitting in for the season. Says Cody Ledger. But yeah, if you want to look at the nope, this is the official playoff points as printed off by NASCAR, like a NASCAR print off. He's got 0 out of 10 playoff points, which you would get 10 points for a win. And he's got 0 playoff points. So they have taken away his playoff points. That's a fact. So there you have it. Not to mention 7 stage wins, 0 playoff points over there. So yeah, NASCAR hasn't put any in because you still got Denny Hamlin's 18 playoff points over here. Yeah, so NASCAR is being petty. What a bunch of we'll wait to see if NASCAR makes it official, but they're not going to gain any fans by doing that. We'll just throw that out there. Didn't see the IndyCar race, but apparently Scott Dixon won. I just read that one. Let's see. I was so confused about the 63-second rule from the Xfinity race yesterday, says Chrome Diesel. Fox didn't show Ty Gibbs' pit stop when he almost took a crew member with him. Yeah, they showed it like way later, but they did eventually show it. They never showed Josh Berry hitting the wall, though, when they were talking the first time he hit the wall, I should say. Honda top 4 made Chevy look like jerks in their hometown, says Camaro 50. So how does eliminating Larson from the playoffs help NASCAR or give the sport more credibility, says Napa Racing fan? I don't know. NASCAR takes all the good press from a good event and finds a way to ruin it. That's the most NASCAR thing NASCAR's ever NASCAR. What a dud of a finish of the race, mostly because I'm not a fan of Cindric, even though I like Penske. He did have a cool paint scheme. Shame for Blaine. He ran out of gas. That should not happen, says E. Damon. I guess that was the IndyCar race. I don't know. I enjoyed watching your car racing yesterday, says Camaro 50. I appreciate you there, Camaro 50. How does The Rock say it? Candy asses. Yeah. NASCAR needs kerosene rags. They might need kerosene shoes, breeches, and T-shirts too. So Bell was the fastest all day, and then a spring let go. Softer valve springs equals more speed. I don't know. I guess everybody's trying to find what Ford found with the horsepower or whatever. Okay, I know I got here late, guys, but I'm picking up that Larson is not going to make the playoffs now because of the 600 nonsense, says E. Damon. That's just what they're printing out on the points readout. If you look at the official unofficial points readout provided by NASCAR Statistics, it's listing 0 playoff points for Kyle Larson, and everybody else's playoff points are still there. I know I'm in the minority, but I could care less if Kyle does the double again. I was excited for the start of it, but feel like it's all we've heard about nonstop for the past month. And we would probably be done hearing about it if NASCAR would just give him the waiver and move on with their lives. But if NASCAR doesn't give him the waiver, we're going to hear about it until Kyle Larson requalifies for the playoffs or doesn't make the playoffs. So they could extend that conversation for the rest of the season. I went to Byron's in-car camera when Barry went into the wall. Says in between the lanes. Did you see that 3 wide cars tour finish the other night? That was some really good stuff. Yep. Our race had finished and the late model race was going on at Hickory. So the late model race was actually under caution. So we actually got to see most of that and got to see the finish under caution. So yeah, that was or the late model race might have finished, but yeah, we got to see most of that race while the Hickory late model race was going on. So pretty cool. Good thing that cell phones do exist in that situation. Yeah, that was about a 63-second rule. All about you can explain, says like dislike. I didn't see the race, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. I guess the Coke 600 is more important than the Indy 500. Good to know, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, for sure. We never penalized any other drivers for doing the double. Unreal, says Bumblebee. Yeah, we also didn't penalize any other drivers for intentionally wrecking other drivers. When they came back, they didn't have all their points stripped when they got their waiver. It is what it is. We didn't penalize other drivers for racing on dirt and breaking their backs, and when they came back, their playoff points weren't taken away. So it is what it is. Per Herm, They're going to give him a waiver. It's just taking so long because they are making a rule change, says Aaron Flynn. The rule change should be get rid of the rule. NASCAR is jerking the fans around about giving Larson a waiver, doing it for ratings. He'll get the waiver. He will get the waiver, but them doing this is not making them look good. Sources tell me BB is a future Danette on the Dan Patrick show. Maybe. Reggie Miller coined the term Danette. Just a fun fact there. NASCAR will give Larson the waiver eventually. They want to keep people talking and interested in the sport. That's the thing, though. I don't believe in this all press is good press type stuff. It's not. It's not at all. They're not gaining fans with this. So if that's their strategy, not a good strategy. No such thing as bad press. I don't buy into that. The curiosity is, will he get it with one appeal, or do they have to? And the reason I say there's no such thing as all press is good press, Cody Ware. Whenever anybody looks at Cody Ware, even though the charges on Cody Ware were dropped, every time people look at Cody Ware, whether he's guilty or innocent, he will always be deemed guilty. NASCAR, the longer this drags on, NASCAR, and it's two totally different things, but my point is this. Bad press is not always good press. Like, I don't buy into that particular deal. So the stigma of NASCAR being incompetent is going to continue to be that thing. And the fact that they're dragging this out for ratings or whatever, not a good look. And it's putting a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Appeal more than once, says Shop. I pretty much quit NASCAR a while back. I think Haley Deegan got me interested in the truck series. And we have been watching Corey Heim back in ARCA, back in his ARCA, and enjoying and watching Corey. I enjoy your show. Appreciate it, Big Cheese. Who you got winning the at Sears Point, says B. I don't know. I'll have to look at the stats. I don't have them in front of me right now. I never said I agree with them, BB, but I know the beast, says Shy. Yeah, I disagree. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I disagree with this mentality that all press is good press. That's not true. Larson will definitely get the waiver. Neil and Bob Gordon is on the job. Says like dislike. BB, do you think Hocevar outperforming LaJoy almost every race? Do you think that's make or break season for Corey? I don't know about Corey, but it's definitely showing you how special Carson Hocevar is. Like, I think that's more of the story. It doesn't always have to be this negative story. He's outrunning his teammates, so his teammates are bad. I don't necessarily believe in that. I think you're just seeing how special Carson Hocevar is. As the Dave Moody promo, bad press isn't always good press. Jeffrey Dahmer was going to do a lot better before word got out, says Say Kyle. Hey, there you go. Dave Moody, for a rare moment, had a good point. What up, BB? This race was a snoozer. It was till the end, till the very end. There was some crazy strategy, so you never know what was going on. And Fox didn't cover all the crazy strategy going on exceptionally well, so that's part of what made it a boring race. But the finish bailed it out, so it was a good finish. All right. Looks like we've reached the end of the comment section here, so I'll read the poll question, then I'll hop off here. Kyle Busch, 34%. Bubba Wallace, 46%. Joey Logano, 11%. Chris Buescher, 9%. Which driver most likely misses the cut now that Austin Cindric has made the playoffs with this win? Those are the answers. And all right, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.